Definitely, I've changed. My outlook on life has changed significantly through all this. Cancer diagnosis is not a death sentence, but there's always hope, and Crowd Health has been an amazing piece of that hope in our cancer journey. My name's Travis. I'm a member of Crowd Health and received a diagnosis of stage 4 melanoma. And the diagnosis, we actually received it not long at all after we signed up for Crowd Health. And Crowd Health has been amazing to work with and very supportive throughout the entire medical journey and continues to be today. So I was employed with the fire department and we had health insurance provided. It was a relatively cheap premium that we paid for our whole family. And when I left the fire department, medical insurance was not provided. So we started looking at our options. Okay, how do we deal with this? I called an agent and got a marketplace price, and the premium was over $2,000 a month. I think it was like $2,200 a month for our family of 4. I remember finding out the copays for that premium were $120 to go to the doctor. So I called our doctor, who's a good friend, and I said, hey, what's your cash price? And he said $95. And I was like, this makes no sense to me. We can pay $2,200 a month for a traditional insurance plan to then pay $120 when I go to the doctor, or I can just have no insurance and pay $95. I also understood if there was a major problem, okay, that was insurance could be beneficial. But still, it made no sense to me. So I somehow stumbled across cost share plans. I called several of them. So found Crowd Health. It just seemed like the right thing to do, to go with Crowd Health. It's surreal looking back, but we signed up with Crowd Health 2 or 3 months prior to this diagnosis. It hadn't been long at all. I just had a cyst. It was on up top area of my head somewhere, just a little cyst that popped up. I went to the dermatologist, they cut it out and then removed 2 other cysts that were on me. Sent them off to biopsy, said nope, everything's good, and told us that it was pretty common for those to come back. The new one appeared. I just thought, oh, what? Here it is. Same, I remember he said, I guess it's the same thing. So I called, and after a couple weeks, not long at all of a sudden it started growing, turned bright red. It was hurting and wait a minute, something's not quite right here. So when that happened, I reached out to a friend that's a doc in the ED. So he called me on October 1st. I remember where I was, and he said, hey, so it came back cancerous. You have squamous cell carcinoma. He said, clearly it's cancer. It's not a terrible cancer. You don't need to stress. You don't need to worry. They can get this taken care of. After those biopsies came back, that's when they said that we were incorrect. You have spindle cell neoplasm. And it's extremely rare, extremely aggressive, and they have no treatment plan for it. So he said that they were going to provide palliative care. Sue asked him a lot of questions what about this? And he's like, it's not going to change the outcome. What about this? He seemed like a broken record. It was not going to change the outcome. What I heard her say was he just seems confused and he doesn't know what he's talking about. And I was like, no, he's pretty clear. He believes I'm going to be in the grave in a short amount of time, and that's why nothing's going to change the outcome in his mind.
I think you said the conveyor belt of death.
I did say he had me on the conveyor belt of death. I have a dark sense of humor, so I said he had me on the conveyor belt to the grave. He was just going to try to make me comfortable on the way there.
But we immediately said, we want a second opinion. And he said, well, it's not going to change the outcome. And we're like, that's okay. We still want a second opinion. And if there's anything I would tell anybody, it's I don't care how much you love your care team, get a second opinion.
So we got another opinion. They called us back and said that it was actually melanoma. So that was my 3rd diagnosis. Just going through this, I just realized how temporary life is. And I'm like, okay, my granddad's gone. I love him. I'll get to see him again. He's in heaven. I'll be there. I was extremely emotional about it at the time. So we met with the oncologist very quickly after that. And he's like, this is bad. It's aggressive. We just need to get your insurance information to get this covered. And we were like, we don't have insurance. And he was like, no insurance. Oh my goodness, this isn't good. This could be problematic. He said the treatment is $20,000. You have to have every 3 weeks you do a treatment for up to 2 years. And we're like, great, we still don't want this delayed. We can pay for 2 treatments, we'll figure the rest of it out. And he said, I'm going to send in the nurse navigator. She can talk to you about the details. She comes in and she's chatting, and she was like, he said, $20,000 a treatment? It's more than that. Over $100,000 per treatment. And then we were like, oh goodness. I remember being scared. I even had probably one of my first conversations with the crowd health representative was like, listen, we haven't had crowd health long. Like, is this going to be covered? And he said, you're good. We'll definitely, as long as it meets all the qualifications, then, we'll reimburse you the same way that any other crowd health member would be handled. And that's exactly what's happened through the whole process. So then we went in on January the 14th, and they surgically removed what was left of the tumor, and they removed 2 lymph nodes. They biopsied them. There was no evidence of cancer in either lymph node. The tumor above my ear was 99% dead cancer cells and less than 1% live cancer cells. So then we went back at some point in March after the 90-day point, and they did a scan, and they said there's no evidence of cancer.
I cannot imagine dealing with everything we dealt with without having crowd health by our side. There was the cost of the surgery. They had me get a good faith estimate, sent that to crowd health, and the surgery was funded right after it was done. $17,000 maybe, and it was funded just like that. And then the next thing that came up is he had to have a biopsy, which was considered another surgery because he had to be put to sleep for lung biopsy. And again, that was funded before the biopsy even happened, which was unbelievable.
My personal experience with crowd health has been amazing. There's just been so many things that we literally have been told, well, if you had traditional insurance, we would have to wait for approval. But everything just moved faster. And having friends that have traditional insurance that have been told, well, no, you can only do 1 PET scan. And my doc is like, we need to do 1 every year. Insurance is not telling the doctor how to care for me. The doctor's caring for me how he's been trained. And then crowd health is helping to get those bills paid.
Crowd health is an extension of your care team. That's very much what it's felt like. It's like, we're right there with you. We're fighting with you. We're praying for you. We're, doing everything we can to support you. It's a completely different experience than dealing with insurance companies.
I think people literally stay in jobs that they hate because they feel like they have to have insurance. And I would just say, quit your job and sign up for crowd health. It's been such an amazing experience, and one that we don't regret at all.